is Betstars and Stripes with Dr. Turf, Ed Wyatt and Alice Gander.
Welcome to Betstars and Stripes again for this Sunday night from 8 till 9 every Sunday night. Plenty to talk about. Of course, Betstars and Stripes all brought to you by Betstar. You can take Betstar on at betstar.com.au, and it's easy to bet on the go with Betstar. Head to betstar.mobi and take us on anywhere, anytime. A lot to talk about out of week 3 of the NFL season and a look ahead to what we have this weekend. We'll introduce our panel. First of all, Ed Wyatt, second week back from overseas. Ed, good evening.
Good to see you, Darren. Good to be back.
Dr. Turf back from Queensland, I think, for you. Turfy?
Yes, I am, Ed. Lovely to be here. Nice to see you, Ed. Actually, we haven't sort of crossed paths yet.
No, it's good.
And from Betstar, of course, Alice Gander joins us. Good evening.
Darren, it's great to be back and great to have the full complement sitting in studio today.
He's been here the whole time.
Yes.
Can I just start off by saying that I need the applause and congratulations of the entire NFL world because I single-handedly finished the referees' lockout. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Because I actually was on the Packers last week, and
and you could stop a train, Doc.
dear oh dear. I didn't back him until after Seattle had actually scored a touchdown.
I had meetings on that day, and I walked into the office just as it was unfolding, and I went into the sports part, and the Betstar sports crew were like, "Al, you've got to get in here, you've got to watch this," just as it was happening. And I watched one referee call it good, one referee call it not good.
That's one of the most amazing images I've ever seen.
Yeah.
When you see two referees standing next to each other, one with their hands at the two arms in the air and the other one waving it away. Man, that's bizarre.
Yeah, that's what did it. That did. All joking aside, that would have. It was just something you couldn't have. It created so much controversy. Obviously, they'd screwed it up. Obviously, these guys hadn't looked at each other and said, "What did you see? What did I see? Touchdown or whatever." And it was just a disaster.
It could be the first time in the history of the world where an incorrect refereeing decision has caused the President of the United States to actually comment on it.
That was an odd one, wasn't it? When he started in an election year, he starts, I think we need to get this solved. That is a big look, and that is a bigger issue. Let's be honest. Yeah. They had the convention, and when it was affecting the start of the season, and I'm sure more people watched the NFL.
And apparently, Mitt Romney thought the referees made the right call.
Exactly.
So, question for you, Ed. I mean, the situation is one referee's calling it a touchdown, one referee's calling it not a touchdown. Surely that would be an instigator for them to go to the third umpire and have a look at the footage.
Well, they go anyway, but there has to be a clear-cut decision for them to overturn. So you have to go upstairs with a decision. So it has to be touchdown. Now let's look at it and see if it isn't a touchdown.
What? One ref saying...
No, but that's what I'm saying. It has to be a clear decision for them to go upstairs. So you can't just say, we're undecided. What do you see? You have to have a call on the field. So really what those guys needed to do, I think, and I don't understand the intricacies of how these crews work, but as I said, you'll see this sometimes where one guy will look at the other and say, I've got a touchdown. What do you have? I've got incomplete. And then they've got to either discuss it or agree on making the call. And that didn't happen.
Do you think the referees, the ones that have been substituted out, the professional referees, do you think they're getting around together and watching the games for the first 3 weeks together, having a few beers? Can you imagine the celebration that they would have had when they saw that happen? They thought, this lockout, this lockout is over.
Let's increase the claim.
Well, that's right. They would have, you're right, they would have absolutely done it. The other thing, I think we mentioned this last week, I just want to make sure people understand, these are not full-time referees. Even the guys who are coming back are not full-time. So a lot of people are saying, these guys are lawyers. They're not real refs. Well, the guys who are back are also lawyers and doctors. In fact, the NFL wants them to have full-time jobs because they want them to sort of have the feeling that these are objective guys.
It wasn't just pay, was it? It was super and all that sort of stuff.
It was a very complicated thing that I was trying to explain to somebody. I didn't do a very good job about it. But yes, it's about retirement benefits and how much is paid into it. And apparently what the NFL is trying to do is what a lot of American companies are now doing, which is save money and cheat their employees out of long-term money. So the NFL has come around.
So you're telling me that Walmart is running the referees?
Well, possibly.
Now, was it true, and not just that, I mean, someone's SMS'd in asking that, I heard that some of the replacement refs had been sacked from the Lingerie League, is that right? Not just been in the Lingerie League, but demoted.
The Lingerie League, and this is a brilliant piece of public relations, whether true or not, they did come out and say that we had sacked, or we had felt that a couple of these referees were not good enough for our Lingerie League. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a great story.
During the NFL, when it looked like there wasn't going to be a season. The Lingerie Footy League actually offered Monday Night Football to CBS or NBC, whoever it is.
They're smart operators.
We should not mock the Lingerie League. Not on my watch, gentlemen. We should not mock them.
You do sort of cast your eye of it and whilst just flipping channels, don't you?
And you sort of, you flick past it. Let's say you're flicking past it and like, oh, shall I go back? Oh, just quickly. I'll just have a quick look, see what the score is.
I still can't work out those tassels. Anyway, let's...
So what it did result in was the fact that Seattle won. They won 14-12 against Green Bay, and that was one of many outsiders the week. I think punters would have had a tough weekend on the NFL.
All season so far, to be honest. There's been a lot of... Look at New Orleans for starters. I mean, this can't be just the bounty business.
Oh, well, I don't know, and I've got to have a mea culpa on that one, and I'm done with them because at first I said they're not going to lose 2 in a row, then 3 in a row. So I'm off them. I'm not, especially now that you know where they go. They go to Green Bay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an angry, Green Bay people with pitchforks and torches when Breeze and those guys come down. It's a great question, Doc, and I should do a little more reading on the New Orleans website and see what they're saying down there. But it's at some point you've got to play football, don't you?
You can't come back from 0-3. Oh, I mean, not you can't, but very hard to come back from 0-3, wouldn't you say, Ed?
Well, especially when you got Atlanta in your same division at 3-0 and looking pretty good. So it's a really rough. You'd say they'd have to win this week, but I don't see them winning in Green Bay. So they're 0-4 then going into week 5.
They were led by 24 points at home.
They were $1.24 to start the game. The Chiefs were $4.20, and when they led by that, I mean, there would have been no betting.
It would have been $1.01.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
At home. So I guess, coaches. It does have an effect.
And then just to mix it up a bit, there was another Minnesota then beat the 49ers, and we were on the show last weekend and we were talking about the 49ers. We're saying they're now favourites to take out the Super Bowl. They were flavour of the month. They were flying, and Minnesota got over the top of them. San Francisco were $1.31 pre-game. Minnesota $3.50 playing at home, and Vikings win 24-13.
A great win for Minnesota. I guess you just chalk that up to the any given Sunday factor. You know that these are very, very good professional football teams, even the bad ones. And Minnesota's got some good young talent. They're building. Certainly didn't see that coming, that's for sure. And what was it, 24-13, I think. So it was a reasonably a solid victory for the Vikings. So that's a very nice win for them. But worries for the 49ers, and you just have to have a look at them this week. They play the Jets in New York, or in New Jersey, if you want to be correct. I can't see the Jets necessarily putting up a huge fight, but by the same token, it's not an easy place to win. So we'll find out a little bit about the 49ers this week.
I think Sanchez will find a way to help them over the line, no doubt.
The defense, the defense was obviously an issue. They scored 24 points. They're known for their defense. They gave away 25 first downs and 344 yards of offense. So not good signs for them there.
No, it's not, because it was an indoor stadium when you play in Minnesota, so that's changed things a little bit, and it's a bit of a flat track, and so you've got that working for you. But as I said, we'll see what they can do this week in the next couple of weeks. I think it's a blip, just a bump in the road, but we'll see.
A couple of others that we'll get to coming off the SMS in just a moment, but I did briefly mention this one last week as well. Obviously, Texas starting the season extremely strongly, number 1 at the moment as well. I know in your markets they'd moved up to second favourite last week, hadn't they, at Betstars?
They had, and I reckon they're favourite now.
Okay. And they've got a pretty comfortable win coming up this week, I would have thought, at home to Tennessee.
Yeah, they've got Tennessee. Now, Tennessee put up a bunch of points against the Lions. We'll talk about that one in a second. But Houston is solid. We say this every week. They got a very, very good defense, a good quarterback in Matt Schaub, a good running back in Arian Foster, good receiver in Andre Johnson. They've been building. There's one of these young teams that's sort of getting better year after year, and it's one of those things that, is this their time? So I think they're solid at the moment, and what your market is showing now, and I could not disagree with.
Yeah, well, they've been. They started 3-0, which no one really expected. They've been $7.50 into $6 favourites after last weekend's matches.
How my boys going at the moment? Baltimore, betting wise.
Baltimore are flying at the moment. They're 3-1. They beat the Pats. They're $15 into $9.50. Did you get on?
No.
Okay, good. No. This will be good to torment you for the rest of the season.
I've got another 13 weeks of misery coming up here with Baltimore.
They put up 121 points on the season, Doc. I mean, they're the leading scoring team in the NFL, which is amazing when you think about the Ravens.
Great moments too, wasn't it? When Torrey Smith, was it? Who's brother was killed.
Brother was
It
killed
just
that morning
hours
on a
before
motorcycle when he played.
And he played, and I think he scored the first. He got the first catch, and
unbelievable story.
That was
a crazy game. That one also was one the league would have watched closely because there were a lot of contentious decisions. Remember the field goal that won it went actually up over the upright.
What's the rule with that?
The rule is it can. I think it can
go over the post. Actually.
I think it can, but it's very difficult to see. And of course, Belichick, the New England coach, ran after the official, grabbed him by the arm, and then later said, "I'm just trying to get a point across."
What would have happened a year ago with a coach touching a referee? I mean, we're just trying to draw the parallel with AFL. Anything like that happens here, and you get 10 weeks or half a season.
Yeah, no, it's money. It's a big fine. He would give it a big fine, and that's one of the adjustments you make when you come here from the U.S. sports and watch Australian sport. I always found it bizarre that guys are actually rubbed out for weeks. I'm like, don't the fans, they're paying to see these guys play. They should be able to see them. So you have to get your head around that. But there's not so many suspensions. Suspension's kind of a last thing, what am I trying to say? Last ditch thing in the States. Hell, you only get 4 weeks for a drug suspension. So, it's a different animal over there.
But I guess we look at the fact that you guys get, financial penpenalties, but they're all on millions of dollars a year. So what's the impact of that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I don't know. It might be some child support issues there, Doc. 50,000 gone. That could make a difference.
Yeah. Now, we're about to take a break on Betstars and Stripes, but after the break, we are going to run our competition again, as we did last week, for an NFL Game Pass, which is a wonderful prize. We've only had week 3 completed, but Al, just before we take the break, just to explain how that works.
So it's going to be another Who Am I?
Yep.
We're going to do that every week, so we need 2 callers to ring in, and both of them will play off against each other. We'll give a series of clues. Yep. First one in, getting the correct answer on the Who Am I, will win an NFL Game Pass for the remainder of the season, including playoffs, because there are 2 kinds of NFL Game Pass. One includes playoffs, one doesn't. So we'll give you the whole kit and caboodle.
I got the NFL pass. If you want to catch up on the week's footy, let's say you're away and you missed the whole round.
Yep.
Do you know how long that tape goes for? 6.5 hours. It's 6.5 hours.
Is that right?
Wow. Clearly you missed nothing.
So our first 2 callers up after the break can join that one. So we'll give you the cue to call in a moment. Just an SMS before we take a break. I know it's always dangerous comparing sports, but you mentioned there needs to be a clear decision for a referral with that Monday night incident. Could it be like rugby league where it's, I don't know, was it a knock-on, was it this, I don't know, and then they go upstairs and you wait for it and then the adjudication comes down? Could they go down the path where they say, I'm unsure, he's unsure, you tell us?
It makes sense. There's some merit in it. I don't see it happening. I think America's we want a decision now type of country, and they're only begrudgingly sort of accepted this sort of video review. So at the moment, I would say the NFL would not do that.
Yep.
Although, as I said, that certainly makes sense.
The thing about the NRL is that it's been so unpopular, the video review. They are actually talking about the on-field referees, and they're actually, or umpires, whatever they're called. There is actually a push to cut it back to 1. The 2, they reckon the 2 hasn't worked. But the on-field umpire or umpires, they're the ones that will refer the decision. So they'll have the monitors
there,
next
like
to the
the
playing field,
NFL
like the NFL has.
Yeah.
So neither code is comfortable with the way it's unfolding.
No, that's correct.
So we're going to take a break. Give us a call now for the Who Am I competition. We need the first 2 callers through. Head-to-head, Al will give a clue at a time. You can buzz in with your name if you want to have a crack at it on that answer. And basically, different clues will be dropped after a few seconds. But first in, best dressed with the correct answer. You're listening to Bet, Stars and Stripes with Ed Wyatt, Dr. Turf and Alice Scander. Betstar have brought back an old favourite with double fixed odds from 8 a.m. race day and all Group 1 races. Of course, today you had the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes. You're up to Turnbull Stakes Day next weekend as well. It is certainly well and truly hotting up. So the first 2 callers through for the Who Am I competition. We'll take a break and back with plenty more.
This is Bet, Stars and Stripes with Dr. Turf, Ed Wyatt and Alice Scander.
And welcome back to Bet, Stars and Stripes. Thanks to Betstar, of course. You can take on Betstar at betstar.com.au. Fast and friendly service online or over